Well, the Occupy Wall Street protests erupting in more violence, putting several New York police officers in the hospital. So will the growing violence cause the president and House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi to rethink these sentiments?
I think people are frustrated, and the protesters are giving voice to a more broad-based frustration.
God bless them for their spontaneity. It's an independent people coming. It's young, it's spontaneous, it's focused, and it's going to be effective.
Just weeks after those comments, there have been hundreds of arrests nationwide, disturbing allegations of rape and sexual assault. The violence, as we mentioned, even landing several police officers in the hospital.
Police did meet some resistance when they retrieved those barriers, tried to put them back. One officer received a laceration to his left hand after someone in the crowd threw a star-shaped glass object at the officer. Another protester threw a liquid, possibly vinegar, in the face of another officer. Commissioner Kelly and I just visited the officer with a lacerated hand here at Bellevue. Officer Matthew Walters, age 24, received 20 stitches to his left hand. A protester who threw a liquid, possibly vinegar, in the faces of 4 officers at Broadway and Wall Street earlier in the day was arrested. 4 officers are being treated at downtown Beekman Hospital for that. Police confiscated about a dozen metal devices comprising of metal sleeves welded together and designed to accommodate individuals who plan to lock themselves to the entrances of Wall Street businesses. We will ensure that everyone has a right to exercise their First Amendment rights, as well as the right to go to work, go to school, ride the subway, and go about their day. But make no mistake about it, if anyone's actions cross the line and threaten the health and safety of others, including our first responders, we will respond accordingly.
We have a total of, right now, 177 arrests. At this count, although it doesn't incorporate all 177, we have 5 for assault in the second degree.
Alan Combs is host of The Alan Combs Show. Mike Gallagher is a syndicated radio host and a Fox News contributor. Alan, let me start with you. Is it time for Nancy Pelosi to walk back her "God bless them" comment?
No, I don't think this is about trying to use this to smear Democrats and using, first of all, I think it's important to roundly condemn, and I think it would be very good if both Pelosi and the president condemned any of the violence, the rapes, or any of the horrible things that have happened to these demonstrations. The media, of course, wants to focus on the small group of people that are causing the disruption, but I think it's also important to urge them to peacefully demonstrate, to take the lead of what Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. talked about, which is to do nonviolent resistance, and they went through a whole list of things you can do, not to lose sight of the larger message, which I think is a good one. It's unfortunate that there are a group of people who are poisoning the message for the rest of the large percentage of people, the overwhelmingly number of people who are peaceful in doing this the way it should be done.
Mike, we are hearing reports that in some cases there were groups within the movement who were shouting at the infiltrators, saying, stop that, don't do that, and trying to maintain peace and law and order.
I love hearing Alan accuse the media of being in a conspiracy mode to try to smear the entire... Listen, I've been saying from day one, these Occupy Wall Street dregs are a bunch of anarchists, they're lawless thugs, and it's been nice to see the entire country turn against them, poll after poll now showing that Americans are rejecting their so-called message. Alan, the point is, from day one, Democrats have been in bed with these folks.
That's not true.
And I'm telling you, name a Democrat that's condemned their actions.
I'll condemn those actions. And I'm a liberal more than I'm a Democrat. I will condemn those actions. However, your side...
Excuse me, you shut me down. I didn't interrupt you.
They have a 33%...
Well, I'll come to you next, Alan. Just let me finish.
Let me finish my point. Democrats have stepped in it in a big way. And the big picture that you raised, Megan, is to wonder about the support, the unfettered support that Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and all the rest of them. I haven't heard a single Democrat denounce these lawless thugs. And Alan, you can't have it both ways. You can't pretend that this is some vast media conspiracy. These people are a bunch of lawless, anarchists who have completely polluted
Alan,
their
let me ask you this,
I'd like
because
to respond to that.
I will give you the opportunity. Let me just ask you this question, because what folks on the right are saying is, can you imagine if this kind of violence happened to this level at the Tea Party meetings? If you had rallies, if you had women being raped, you had they almost 1,300 arrests as of just a couple of days ago. Public urination, defecation, attacks on police. Then the one Occupy movement out in California and Oakland or San Diego asked for a moment of silence for the guy who shot at the White House. Yeah. Can you imagine if they had done any of this at the Tea Party rallies, and a president who had endorsed the Tea Party rallies or commented?
He didn't endorse the rally. I've got to respond to this. You've got to let me respond to some of this.
Didn't then denounce them.
I feel I need to respond to so much of what's been said here. First of all, Mike, you are smearing the entire group of people and condemning all of them, calling them a bunch of loons and anarchists based on the actions of a few, and that's a shame. You're not doing any critical thinking here when you do that. You're losing sight of the larger message. Of course, the media is going to go where the action is and where the bad stuff is, because that's what makes an interesting media story.
Wait, let him finish.
You didn't want me to interrupt you. Please don't interrupt me. And I feel that you and conservatives, for the most part, want to use this movement to smear Democrats who have not wholeheartedly endorsed everything that's going on there. And you're playing politics here when you do that, and losing sight that, in fact, the Tea Party and the Occupy Wall Streeters have a lot in common, and in fact can probably work together. Excuse me, please. I didn't interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you.
Just let him finish his point, Mike, and I will
Look, this is not a fair debate when I keep getting interrupted. This is not a fair debate.
Hold on. I'm the timekeeper. I'm going to let Alan finish his point, and then I am going to come to you, Mike.
Boy, it fires me up. Okay,
the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of symmetry between what the Tea Party wants and what the Occupy Wall Streeters want. They came together actually yesterday in one place and where they were all talking together, and they both have similar views about the government and the establishment. They're both anti-establishment operations, and they could actually come together and work together for common goals here. That would be a good thing.
Okay, go ahead.
You are utterly disingenuous in trying to defend the lawless.
You don't have to attack me personally.
Excuse me, I didn't even finish my first sentence. Please zip it for a moment and let me respond to your scurrilous comparison of the Tea Party movement, a bunch of patriots who love the Constitution, who aren't breaking the law. Are you kidding me, Alan? No. I guarantee you, if I want to go back and see if you have denounced the Tea Party as being racist or bigot. Oh, you have.
Extent,
so you denounced the whole movement because of the actions of a few?
Never denounced the whole movement.
Really?
Never denounced the whole movement.
Yeah, well, you just said you did.
I called out. I never denounced the whole movement. I called out those people who are racist, just like I just called out those people in this movement.
You cannot compare the Tea Partiers to these bunch of lawless, degenerate
Well, I just
thugs,
did, and that's not what they are. That's not an accurate characterization.
All right.
They're anarchists, and you guys have stepped in it, and Democrats are going to pay the price in November of 2012.
We'll see.
You mark my words.
We will leave it at that, guys. Alan.
Sorry.
Mike, happy Friday.
Oh,
Have a lovely weekend, all of you.
everybody. Yikes.
You too. Thank you.